Today, I'm combining two powerful stencil designs from pmartiststudio. My iris design, with its bold negative space, and a brand new design by my friend Becky Bokern, Pop Dots. Both of these are from pmartiststudio. When layered together, these two create a fun contrast that gives a traditional floral design a modern pop art inspired edge. Combining this bold negative space is a smart way to create contrast and visual impact. I'm Christy Hartman. Welcome back to the studio. This kind of stencil layering is all about balance, letting the bold shapes breathe while adding intricate detail. Whether you are into mixed media, collage, or just love stencils, this project opens up so many creative possibilities. Let's dive in and see how this classic flower gets a bold graphic makeover. We're going to start out with raw sienna. I did this a while ago with a long haul where I used my cacti stencil and the prickly thorn stencil from pmartiststudio. I'm going to try this again because I really liked it. We're going to leave this raw sienna on here until the end of this long haul, which is going to be a modified long haul. I'm not going to do a super long one. And yes, I am using open paints, which I like to use for a long haul, and I think they work particularly well. But you need to understand that those paints are definitely going to mix. Okay, now we are going to leave this stencil in place until we are finished. We are going to pull these with the Carnival Wet Strength tissue paper. I had an interesting question in one of my other long hauls where I used the open paints, and the person was concerned because her paints were mixing. They're going to. If you're using open paints, they're bound to. I think that's part of the beauty of using open paints while you are doing a long haul. For some of your pulls, you don't have to use it for all of them. Okay, that's a lovely print right there. Now this phthalo blue green shade is going to mix with that raw sienna. I think it'll do some interesting things. That's part of the beauty of using open paints while you're doing a long haul. It does interesting things. Things you may not necessarily expect. You'll notice that I'm using my 4-inch brayer instead of my 6-inch brayer, which I usually use. But I find that my 4-inch brayer gets down into the nooks and crannies of the stencils that have nooks and crannies much better. And because we are going to try to do this long haul as a one pull print, this might do some fairly interesting things. Oh wow, look at that. That's another beauty of using your open paints, as your prints are usually very clear. I think we'll try some of the Lumiere paints next, and they will speed up the drying time of your open paints. And this is the Halo Blue Gold, and I've added airbrush medium to it. So we actually have a little bit longer working time for this paint. It also goes a little more translucent. These prints that you get using your Carnival Wet Strength tissue are so usable for any type of collage you want to do. They just work brilliantly. You can use them in lots of different ways too. I'm not saying that you can only use them in collage. There's so many different opportunities to use the wet strength tissue. And it's very durable, which is nice. Okay. Oh, look at that. That is gorgeous. Let's try a darker blue. Let's go with this pearl blue. And yes, this one has airbrush medium in it, so you have a little bit longer working time. Pretty. Let's go with this PBO copper, which is definitely not an open paint and will definitely dry quickly. So we need to get it out here and pull it up. Oh wow, look at that. Gorgeous. All right, let's try turquoise phthalo. Another beauty. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous print. Okay, let's go back to the open and go with iridescent bright gold fine. think this one's going to go green. And it did, and it's actually really lovely. I think we have enough paint on here we can pull one more print, so let's try to pull one more off of here. Yeah, very faint, but we got a little more paint off it. Okay, let's go with anthraquinone. I think we'll go with copper one more time. And I got way too much paint, but we can do 2 pulls off of this, I think. Yeah, lots of paint on there. Let's do another pull and get some more of that off of there. Yeah, okay, pulled a little bit more of it off of there. But we've got a nice sheen of copper. Let me just do a little looking here. Yep, I like it. Okay, let's pull this off of here. And that is going to be beautiful. And that will have to dry. We're going to add this pop dots to the back of our iris. We're going to use this fluorescent orange and this iridescent orange. And I just want it super thin, so I think we'll add it to our 5 by 7 inch plate to start with. This is going to go in the center. Let's go right down through the center. Let's grab another 5 by 7 and let's use this orange. Come back in with a little bit of the fluorescent. Just kind of blend it out a bit. Okay, Okay, let's pull this off. Take a look at this. Oh yeah, that's going to be cool. I'm going to love that. All right, we'll have to let that dry. And we have all of this great paint on our 5x7. So let's just do something with it. Let's put these two down. Let's grab a couple brayer offs. Let's lay those down. Let's do the same thing with this one. Just hate to waste that paint, you know? That looks great. That looks very cool. And then let's go over the whole thing with this. It's just a piece of wet strength tissue paper. Pull that off, pull this up. And let's just let that dry. I pulled these two orange prints with this PBO Violent Blue Iridescent. And I pulled them on the wet strength tissue paper. I think I will find a use for these. I think they're actually really lovely. This one didn't pull up real well, but you know what? I'm going to put something over the top of it so it doesn't matter. Just a good way to use up some of your paint and then have a new background for something. Let's use this Ara Blue Gray to pull this with. Ooh, it's going to be really, really pretty. We're going to pull this, but before we pull it, we're going to kind of work on these edges a little bit. I just don't always like to pull up. Okay, oops, see, I didn't do a very good job of that edge. It started to rip. So let's go from this end. And we can put that back together. That's a good print. I'm happy with that. I love how this pairing of bold and intricate stencils transform a traditional floral into something completely fresh. Gel printing really allows these stencil designs to shine. It's all about finding that perfect balance between negative space and detail. If you have stencils sitting in your stash, try mixing bold shapes with fine patterns. You might be surprised at the result. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this project, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more gel printing adventures. Let me know in the comments what stencil combinations you're excited to try. I'll see you in my next video.